Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope everybody had a wonderful lunch today. Oh, got my picture up there. Hi. So first of all, thank you, everybody, for coming to Dev Day here at TwitchCon. There's nothing better than watching people wanting to leverage the power of Twitch in their creations. Speaking of creations, what I'm going to be talking about is games. Can I get a show of hands of how many people here are game developers? Okay, quite a lot. Awesome. How many of you are releasing a title or have released a title in 2018? 2019? 2020? Awesome. I mean, sometimes it's way later, but the beautiful thing is, or at least what drives my passion is releasing those creations to the world. It's actually why back in the StarCraft 1 days, I started modding. I had crazy little game ideas that I wanted to, kind of get out to the world. So I ended up creating them, and there was nothing better than watching people play those creations. Because after they downloaded them, they would start, I'd see other servers pop up using my game, and I was like, this is amazing. And I'm sure you get that same kind of feeling when you release your title. But what I want to talk about is a real talk about releasing a title in today's market. We are in a crowded market, right? By this time last year, there were over 7,800 titles. By the end of this year, we're looking at well over 9,000 titles, right? Not only that, but we're also competing, not only between ourselves, but we're also competing with other apps, like social media, fitness apps, reading apps. And let's not forget about real life, jobs, friends, family, sleeping, eating. Screen time is extremely precious at that point. So what does that lead to? That leads us to three big pain points. We're talking about user acquisition, retaining, and in some cases, re-engaging with our users. And of course, that helps with revenue, because I don't know about you, but with me, I definitely want to keep continuing to make the things that I'm passionate about and I love. So how are we going to do this together? How can Twitch and you do this? So let's take a look at, we have our viewers on Twitch, and we have all the users of your game. We want the same thing, and we want to grow together. So by using these integrations, we can combine together and grow as one. So let's set up the talk for today to go over it. We have the game, which people love. They want to play, they want to watch. That's the key piece. Then there's the foundation layer, which is Twitch identity. Once that foundation layer is there, we can start working on acquiring new users through Prime, drops, and extensions. Now let's talk about the retention. That's the next layer. And we can do that through cheering, drops again in analytics, and then game mods. So once you do one integration, once we have one piece, we can go between all the others pretty easily. Not only does that work for you, but also your users are able to go between all these seamlessly. So let's start building the foundation. How do we do that? Twitch identity. I think identity is key because it is a persona of who you are. And Twitch identity is that gamer persona. Most people do not know me by Tim. I actually am known as Telshin in more circles than that, either when I'm broadcasting, creating a mod, or releasing it. And then, of course, while I'm playing a game. That is who I am. That is who I broadcast out to the world. So Twitch identity is that same key piece. It's the foundation. Once you have that there, you have access to the APIs, and you can do the other integrations. It's easy to do. It's OAuth. So web, native. You just link it with your identity backend, and we're off to the races. So now that we have the foundation together, let's talk about acquiring new users. And our first stage is Twitch Prime. How many here know what Twitch Prime is? Awesome. So everybody, awesome. So Twitch Prime allows you to have custom in-game items that Prime members or Twitch Prime members can get. It increases awareness for your title because you're doing this promotion not only on Twitch, but on Amazon. Get that outreach to all the millions of Prime members. There's a couple companies that have already done this with great success. We have Epic with Fortnite, Blizzard with Overwatch, and Digital Extremes with Warframe. They're able to acquire a ton of new users this way. Let's look at drops next. Drops is a way to reward users while they're watching your game. So now you're asking, well, how do we do that with new users? When new users watch your game on Twitch, we're going to encourage them to get the game. And how do we do that? Because you're rewarding them in-game items before they even own it. They're building value at that point. They're building it, and then, oh, I have packs. I have to go use those packs. So they jump right into the game. It also allows you to cross-promote between all your brands. A great example of this is Bethesda during E3. During their E3 keynote, you were able to earn drops for Elder Scrolls Online, Quake Champions, and Elder Scrolls Legends. Think about that. I don't play Elder Scrolls Online, but now I'm encouraged to do so because I have some neat in-game items because of it. For the user, it's as simple as doing an account link. Once they have that account link done, just click, I now have the item. Let's move on to extensions and how that helps with user acquisition. So who here has built an extension? Working on building an extension? Released an extension. Awesome. So extensions are new interactive experiences that you can build for the broadcaster and the viewer. In this case, with acquiring new users, we're talking about passively educating them about your game. When we start teaching them before they're the player, when they're ready to jump in, they're ready to apply those learnings immediately. Let's take a look at a couple use cases. Who here has played Hearthstone? Okay, a lot of people. Who here has used Innkeeper? Okay, so Innkeeper is made by Curse. It is a deck collection management application. They decided to make an extension to where you can show off cards in real time. So as a streamer is playing, you can expect any card. Think about that. I can inspect a card and ask questions like, why did you draft it? Is there a better card? What if I don't have this legendary? What can I use instead? At that point, those learnings are helping with engagement in that community. So let's take a look at this. So we have Wolverus here in an arena. I jump in for the first time. I have no idea what's going on. I never played Hearthstone. So I click the Show Innkeeper button, and immediately I get a full deck list. I now have highlighted the Hosen Healer, and I'm like, oh, okay. Don't know what Battle Cry does. Start asking. So the community starts helping me learn. So I've been learning a little bit from Wolverus, and then I go, I want to try this out in game. So in the upper left-hand corner, there's an Export Deck button. This lets me take everything I've learned and bring it into the game. I am now a new user, and now I can use it. So, card games, kind of orderly, rules pretty good, order patterns. But what about an action game? What about that something could be a little chaotic? Who here has played Binding of Isaac? Okay, or any other roguelike, right? It's kind of crazy because you don't know what things do. The items, when you're watching, you're like, I don't understand. Is this a good item? Is that a good item? Well, our friends at Pretzel made the Isaac Tracker. What this does is it educates the users about the items that the streamer has picked up. Not only that, but it lets us catch up to the state of the game. So we know what's going on. Now I'm learning, I see what the items do. Well, now it's time for me to apply those learnings in game. And I can use the seed up at the top, I can copy it, and I can play the same level the broadcaster is doing. So at this point, I've learned, I'm interested, and now I'm applying those learnings in game. So we talked about acquisition. Now let's look at retention. Keeping our users engaged and same time re-engaging with them. Let's look at cheering. So cheering is when a user uses bits on Twitch. And in this case, we're talking about rewarding players for cheering for big in-game moments. In an esports event, imagine cheering for, let's just, in this case, because I do this, I'm cheering for Team Liquid. And I get an in-game banner. So Blizzard did this with both Overwatch League and Heroes HGC. I can tell you there's no better feeling than taking a keep in Heroes and then seeing a Team Liquid banner come up. It makes me go, I got to go cheer for Liquid, and then I get to use them in game. So through this, you can do this already with extensions, but think about all the new ways you can reward users for using bits. So I talked about drops in the sense of acquiring new users. Now I want to look at it from the retention side. The retention side is you reward users when they're not playing your game. So as they're watching someone play the game, you're helping them build value again. Also, nowhere else can you see through analytics what your players are doing when they're outside your game. Drops gives you this ability. Bethesda, with Elder Scrolls Legends, saw an increase of 500% minutes watched from turning on drops just for Elder Scrolls Legends in the sense of getting, I think it was 3 card packs. Just activating one thing and rewarding their players. Rocket League has a world championship, or Psyonix has a world championship with Rocket League every year. Between season 2 and 3, all they did was turn on drops. And they saw a 322% increase in peak concurrent viewers. All for players earning skins of their, to use. Now let's talk about one of my favorite topics, is mods. So mods, or game mods, help increase the longevity of your title. How does it do this? It breathes new life into your game because developers are creating new and unique experiences in your world. Players are engaging not only with the content you originally did, but now they're engaging with the content from all these other developers, all these new worlds. And thus, it just extends your game's lifecycle because there's this constant flow of content coming in. We here at Twitch have a product called CurseForge. CurseForge is our mod distribution system. You let us know that your game has mods, we'll get a CurseForge site up, and authors start uploading their projects, and we distribute them out through the Twitch desktop app. So, it's been a lot of information, so let's bring it all together. What does it mean when we take the foundation, the acquisition, all that? What are we trying to accomplish with all this with you? We're talking about blurring the lines between the viewer and the player. So I'm going to go through stuff from a low level of interaction and then for high engagement. Let's look at something as simple as an extension that allows you to see game stats. Just by viewing game stats or seeing where someone is in a season, or possibly what talents they're using in game. At this point, the viewer is getting to be part of that. They're like, oh, cool, I can see the kill-death ratio. It's low level of interaction, but let's crank it up. Let's go to where they can actually lean in, they can start interacting with the game. By doing something simple as voting, that viewer is now invested in the title, and invested in that community, invested in that broadcaster. Because now they're like, oh, let's vote on the next map. Or let's vote on the next game we're going to play. At this point, we're increasing that engagement. So let's go again. Let's step it up again. So let's talk about letting the viewer affect our world. In this case, in Darwin Project, the viewer is able to vote on things such as, let's drop a weapon for someone, or let's not drop a health item, or let's drop the health item for an opposing streamer. Let's start trolling the person we're watching. Or maybe we just start voting out different things. At this point, they are almost that player. They're almost there. So let's let them become the player. In Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, that's a tongue twister. Try saying that 10 times fast while practicing. It's not fun. So in Clone Drone in the Danger Zone, there we go, the viewer becomes the player. They're able to spawn items in the game. They're able to become that player with the broadcaster. Think about that. Imagine your players are able to do this now. You're able to bring them in. Give another idea. Say you're playing Assassin's Creed and you want to control the eagle, and you're able to let the player do that. They are now part of that game. So I talked about mods and how they extend the game lifecycle. And the best way I can do this is playing a video for you to show you what I'm talking about. In this case, we're going to watch Sheriff Eli in a Grand Theft Auto roleplay server. He's going to be answering a call at a house, and there's going to be a little surprise.
Knock, knock, it's the potty pooper, state police, open the door. Inside the house, it's the state police. Go, pup. Dog's gonna come in. Better come out now. Don't you move.
Surprise! Surprise!
Oh, hello. I am surprised.
Hey!
So in this case, Sheriff Eli is playing with his community, and his community showed up and gave, big surprise. Think about that. How many people played Grand Theft Auto 5? A fair number of us. That wasn't part of the original idea of what Grand Theft Auto 5 was about. But now we've taken that broadcaster, they have created, there's all this new creation, there's all these new mods around the game, and now they're able to do things that wasn't originally possible. And now the viewers are able to use those same mods and interact with their streamer. Not only that, but now they have all this new content, and it's going to keep coming and keep coming. And since it's going to increase that longevity, it's going to increase that title. So now that we've looked at all the some of the possibilities, how do we measure success? Because that's a key factor here. How do we know if these things are working for us? And here we have our insights products. We have a games overview report that lets you see key KPIs around broadcasters, viewers, chat engagement, extensions, clip markers, and we're continually adding on to it. The other thing is it's a CSV that you can download, so you can use it with your own tracking and make sure, everything's working. We also have our quarterly Twitch insights. Now, what this is an automatic report on the engagement of your title. It lets you know what your game's reaches, and how your community is doing. Plus, lets you know about some of the new integrations you can do for your title. At 3 o'clock, our MC Christian Chen is going to be diving a little bit more into all the different products. As you can see, that's what the report looks like on the site. So, let's recap. We have your awesome game, key there. We've applied Twitch identity as this foundation layer for it. Imagine now, because of that, you're doing those world events for people broadcasting your game, or maybe you're changing the UI, doing something new, doing something unique. We're working on acquisition through Twitch Prime by offering awesome in-game items. Maybe it's something simple as crafting items or a special map. With drops, we're giving users new items before they even own our title to encourage them to buy it. With extensions, we're starting to teach our users. Maybe it's something as simple as here's how our talent tree works. Or maybe a way to go through the whole map in one sitting so you can be like, oh, that's a good spot to do a drop. Now that we have them, now we're going towards keeping them, re-engaging with them. So we use cheering. We say, hey, we got our world championship. I'm cheering, I'm giving you free items. With drops, again, we're re-engaging with them. We're giving them new items, new ways so that when they come back into the game, they're ready to go. And then we have mods. We're leveraging the power of developers to create whole new worlds inside ours, making it to where players not only want to engage with us, but want to use all that new content. So I look at all this, and I go, this is a new world. This is a new world of interactivity. And I have one big question for all of you. What are you going to build with it? Thank you.